Well, we are almost out of peach jam from last year. It is time to get some made. Hey folks, welcome back to the Rockin' Sea Homestead. My name is Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. And today, just like you guys saw, we're making some peach jam on our ball jam and jelly maker. If you guys haven't used one of these, it makes jam and jelly making so easy. So this one here, we actually got this from my mom. My mom gave it to us as a gift, and we have used the heck out of it. Thank you, Mom. We definitely appreciate that. It means a lot to us. But like I was saying, this makes jam and jelly making so easy. All right, so today we're going to use the recipe that actually came with the jelly maker. It's the automatic jam and jelly maker recipe book, and we're going to use the peach jam recipe, just the traditional recipe. Now we've already done some of the hard work already. Last week we were able to get a couple cases of peaches. And throughout the week, we peeled them, pitted them, and then we actually froze it. We actually had to take this out and thaw it out this morning. But we kind of did it. We knew kind of how many pounds it takes per batch. So we kind of froze them in double batches. So we're going to make 2 batches. But so at this point, we're just going to start running through the recipe and getting everything set up and make some jam happen. All right, so as I was saying, we kind of already split this up. This is actually 2 batches. So we got 4 pounds here, but at first, when we put these in here, all we did was freeze them and cut them. We didn't really crush them or any of that kind of stuff. So some of them are kind of, they're like halves or whatever. We just kind of did the easy way of just doing them halves or whatever it may be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crush them all, get them all ready, then we'll split it and make it 2 separate batches. And we'll just kind of smash these coarsely here and try not to get peach goo everywhere. All right, so we got all of the peach goodness mixed up and mashed up. But like we were saying, we're going to do 2 batches, so we need to split this. And the recipe calls for about 2 pounds each. So we knew we started off with 4 pounds. So we're going to put 2 pounds into a bowl and just separate it. So got the scale set up here and zeroed out for the bowl. So we can just put a couple pounds in there. All right, now since we got the peaches separated, the first step to actually using the ball jam and jelly maker is to put in the pectin. We're gonna need 3 tablespoons of pectin. So you just kind of sprinkle that along the bottom. 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Then the next thing it says to do is to put in the peaches. I just try to get them all the way around as much as I can. And then it talks about adding 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And it specifically says bottled lemon juice. So, and some of that has to do with the concentration levels and the consistency of the concentration. All right, and now we just need to get some butter. And I know when we first started making this jam, we thought this was kind of weird with the half a teaspoon of butter, but this helps it from over foaming or foaming too much or whatever it may be. It just kind of helps that out somehow. And then really, that is it for now. Yes, we're going to add sugar, but we're going to add sugar later. So at this point, we're going to turn on the machine and it says to hit the jam. And it automatically sets for 21 minutes. And then I'm going to press start or enter here. And then this thing will start turning, and in about 4 minutes, it's going to trigger us. It's going to beep 3 or 4 times at us, and at that point is when we're going to add in the sugar, and then it will just continue spinning and spinning and spinning and cook it. And then at that point, once it's all finished, we'll be ready to can it and put it in the water bather. All right, the machine beeped. That means it's time for us to put the sugar in. And we got 3 and I think we have 3 cups of sugar here. And so what it says to do is just kind of start pouring it in gradually. So I just start trying to mix it in as much as you can evenly. If you've never made jam or jelly, these things take a lot of sugar. Okay, all the sugar's in. You don't have to stir it. You just leave it there. It'll just mix itself. And so we're just going to leave it going. And we have 16 minutes. And it should be good to go. All right, while the jelly is being made, we're going to get everything prepped here. We did a lot of this ahead of time. So if you guys hadn't seen, we got a new canner. It's a Harvest water bath canner. It's stainless steel. It's got a cool little thing up top here to kind of let you know if you're in the zone to start timing and those kind of things. Watch our video and it explains a little bit more. But I'm telling you, this thing has worked great. We've done about 3 or 4 batches of stuff in this thing. It's been awesome. We did some salsa, did some peach salsa, did some dilly beans. Now we're going to do some peach jam. It's got a little basket. And then so at this point, we're just having it at a low boil right now. We're going to get our jars prepped and ready. And once we get all that stuff, this thing's ready, be ready to go. All right, the jelly maker just buzzed. And as you can see, it is still bubbling, so it's super hot. Be careful, this will burn you greatly. All right, the jelly is cooked. Now it's time for us to fill the jars. This recipe fills up 4 half-pint jars, and we're going to fill those into a 1/4 inch of headspace. We're going to wipe down the rings with some vinegar, or wipe down the rims of the jars with some vinegar and a paper towel. Put the flats and the rings on there, and then transition those over to the water bath canner, and should be good to go. All right, so now we're just going to put these in the water bath canner. Now you do want to make sure that once you lower this into the water, which we'll show you here just in a second, that you have at least enough water covering the top, about 1 inch, 1/2 inch, and we should have, yeah, plenty of water on top of it. We're going to turn this up a little higher so it starts boiling. That's hot. Okay. So we need to bring this up to temperature, and on this little canner, once this little dial gets into the green on the blue side, then it's good for us to start counting. I think was it 10 minutes? 15 minutes? Yeah, due to our altitude here in Oklahoma, we have to water bath these for 15 minutes. So once this gets into that green, which it's getting close, it's probably in a couple minutes, we'll be able to start the timer, and then it'll go 15 minutes, and then we'll bring you back then. All right, so 15 minutes. So at this point, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn off the heat, open up the canner, and we're just gonna let it sit here for 5 minutes before we take the jars out. And this is just fine, just like it is. They're looking pretty good in there. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but before we got everything heated up, we did put a little bit of vinegar in the water. Kind of helps with keeping those jars nice and clean. But I did want to say something about the jelly maker itself. So the only bad thing about this, it makes a small batch of jelly. You can't make a huge batch all at once. So, you know, you have to kind of make that 2-pound batch, kind of like we did. Now, this is our second batch that we're running. So in between those, when we start washing everything, we'll actually unplug it, and you have to have this kind of cool down a little bit. And you plug it back in. If this thing says CO, that means it has to cool off. And if it has 2 dots across, it means it's good to go, ready to go for your next batch. So just keep that in mind if you're using one of these for the first time. You just can't run them back to back to back to back. You'll have to have a little bit of a cool down period. All right, it has been 5 minutes. We're gonna take these out. Put them over here on a cloth so there's not any thermal shock for the glass jars. And these, so far, these things look fantastic. We'll see if the jars seal and then the jelly sets. Sealed. Boom. All right, so all of our jars have sealed. We all heard the ping. Now we're just letting them cool down. Now, once they've cooled down enough, we'll take off the rings. And one of the things we like to do is we get these dissolvable labels. That's a ball product. And we put them on the jars. We put what it is, what the date is. These are ones from last year. And then before we do that, we'll clean these jars off, make sure they're nice and clean, take off, and we actually store them without the lid on it. That's to make sure that, you know, when you go in there, you can make sure it's nice and sealed. But guys, really at this point, that's all there is. While we're waiting for our next batch to finish up, we got our water reheating, and then we have one more batch to do, and then we're done for the day. But guys, thanks for coming back, watching the video. Hopefully you guys liked it and appreciated how to make peach jam, especially with this jelly maker. Super awesome machine. It simplifies it. You don't have to worry about if you're getting it to the right consistency and is it sheeting right and all that kind of weird stuff you have to do with jelly. This just makes it simple for you. But if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure you ring that subscribe button, ring that bell so you get notified every time we put out a video. And of course, catch us on Facebook and Instagram. All those links are down below in our description. And guys, from our homestead to yours, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.